Okay, so back to what I was saying. Instead of me typing it, I just want to speak on it. Because my thoughts, my brain, my thinking just is so rapidly that my fingers can't keep up with the typing. So yeah, I'd rather just come on, record myself, and then post it, answering anybody's questions. And if you happen to have more questions, I'll be more than happy to answer the rest. But my first question that I've been asked is, why Islam? Well, Islam was a religion I've been interested in for over 20 years. I was interested in since I was in high school. It is a religion that really caught my attention. It had a lot to do with the person actually relaying the message, because this brother, would relay the message and he would act on what he would say. There's so many people that go around the world just sounding good, just saying things to sound good, but do the total opposite. So in all honesty, these are the last people I want to follow their footsteps. You know, I was always looking for guidance as a child. I felt lost. I felt not loved. I felt lonely. I was hurt. I ended up becoming numb. That numbness ended up turning into anger. That anger was leading me to react in a violent manner. And it didn't stop until a teacher from Fort Lee High School pulled me to the side after class. And all she did was ask me if I was okay. Once she asked me if I was okay, like, it made me feel that somebody cared about me, even though she didn't know me and she didn't know what I was going through. But her just asking me that touched my heart. It made me feel different. I was like, somebody cares about me, you know? And I went home that day and I was a thinker, an observer. I didn't talk much. I was, again, like I mentioned, lonely. I was a loner, and by choice. And I was thinking about her actions, like, wow, like she really took time out of her schedule to try to talk to me, even though I didn't tell her what was going on, because I had trust issues and I didn't want to just tell anybody anything, you know? So with her asking me that question, it kind of blended my heart a little bit. And that to me meant so much. The fact that she extended her help. So that touched my heart. After that, shortly after that, after school, every day after school, I would hear this brother preaching. And he would, I think there was only men there. Yeah, I don't think there was any females. I was there because I have an older brother who is very friendly, class clown, totally different character from me. We're the total opposites. But this brother would be there after school, just talking. You know, like the things that he would say, like, caught my attention. To the point that I would go home and always think about what he was saying. And then I would observe him throughout school. Like, we would bump into each other, like in the hallway. Like, he wouldn't really say anything to me, you know. But he'll definitely, like, say hi to the boys or the people that he knew. And I noticed that. I noticed that in between his... in between his, like, the changing of classes and stuff, if anybody that he knew was on his path, he would say hi, who was, you know, whatever, and then he'll just go to his next class. And I was like, wow, like, I was so intrigued by everything he was saying and living by. I didn't know him outside of class, outside of school, so I'm only going based on what I know of him from school. So that definitely made a big impact. After we graduated from high school, we graduated in 99. I didn't get to see him again. I heard he ended up moving out of the state. And I didn't take it upon myself to actually read about the religion. And I should have. Maybe I would have been going through half the stuff that I went through afterwards. But it is what it is. And it just so happened that I didn't, end up reading on it on my own. So fast forward, I got so caught up with like school, with work, with a whole bunch of other stuff that, that we're taught to do. And yeah, I just did it. And it shouldn't have been no excuse, but distraction is one. Distraction is, yeah. So fast forward to years later, in 2012, I met my boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend, like, we just started talking. I guess we were both going through like some issues and stuff. And I liked his company because he was just so honest. He was just so different from the normal people that I bumped into, like the normal guys. Like, he was just totally different. And come to find out, he's Muslim. So I'm like, all right, like, these are signs. I take everything as signs. I'm like, okay. I was so interested in Islam back in 1999. I didn't pursue it. I didn't read anything about it, or I didn't take time to read about it on my own. And here I am finding myself in 2012 talking to a Muslim man. So, and then we started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And we weren't really doing anything to better ourselves. We were just existing. We weren't trying to, do nothing that is going to better us. So in 2016, we ended up getting into an accident. And the accident was my wake-up call. The accident was what really forced me to look into Islam. Well, not forced me, but I took more time, or I had the time, let's say, because I was recovering from this accident. So during this accident, I started reading the Quran. I started Googling, questions and just taking it upon myself to do my research. And everything that I was reading was just like, my goodness, like, this is all I needed. I wish I would have done it back then when I was really interested in it, But I had to go through some tests. And I've heard other religions preach, and I've had other religions come up to me and talk and tell me things. But like how I mentioned before, and I'm not knocking no religion, anything like that, but like how I said before, it's all about the person who's relaying the message to me, because you're not about to relay a message to me and you're doing the total opposite, because that's not what I want to follow, right? So in 2016, that's when that happened. I started reading about it. There was a lot of things that I was implementing at the same time. There's a lot of new things I had to get used to. It's a lot of, I was very dependent from a young age. I was always working from the age of 14. I was always used to being the provider. Like, I was always like helping people out. I was giving people rides. I was, buying people food, giving people money. And it was just like, these things made me feel good at the time. Like, again, like how I said, I felt such an emptiness in my heart, and I know what it is to like want help and be told no, like, I'm not gonna help you, like, I know you can get out of it type thing. I didn't want to do that to other people because I know the pain that it causes. So I wanted to do the total opposite. I've been living my life the total opposite from what the normal people do or live by. So that's something I always did. And I just did that on my own because the normal stuff that I used to see, I always saw it as being fake. Like the holidays. I wasn't big on holidays. What else? It's just a lot of things that I wasn't, like how they say, if you don't want to be a part of something or you don't want to get wheeled into something, just stay away from it. So I knew the best thing to do was to stay away from anything that I didn't want to be a part of. So after that, what was I saying? I lost my frame of thought. So thinking about, okay, after the accident. So we got into the accident. That's what allowed me to really dig deeper into the religion. And I wasn't fully practicing the religion until my birthday of this year, March 4th, 2022. March 4th, 22. That's when I took my Shahada. I took my Shahada. I felt like I knew enough. I didn't know my prayers fully. And I was actually afraid, or I felt embarrassed to walk into a mosque because I didn't know my full prayer. But I took my Shahada March 4th. I started wearing my hijab months before I took my Shahada. And it's been like the best thing. Like, I was asked what I did for my birthday, and I say nothing. Like, I took my Shahada, you know, like that's something totally different. I feel like a brand new person. Like, ever since I converted to Islam, I felt like this heaviness was lifted from my shoulders, and it just feels so amazing to be able to wake up and just smile for nothing. And those that know me know I never smiled. I never smiled before because I was so hurt. I was going through my own issues that I wasn't willing to share with anybody because I understood that people get intrigued by bullying others, by making fun of others, by downgrading others. So I understood that, and I wanted to avoid that. And I'm thankful I did. And I think that's a big issue we're going through now, because a lot of kids continue to bully others, even though they say, oh, we're just joking. But behind every joke, there is a truth. I'd rather people be honest with me from the beginning than say, oh, I was just joking. No, you weren't just joking. Let's be honest now, right? But that'll be for a different topic. So basically, that's what allowed me to convert to Islam. The brother that was talking on it, that was relaying the message, his actions, that's what guided me to Islam. That's what made me interested in Islam. Did I convert to Islam because of my boyfriend? Even though I did mention that he was Muslim when I met him, I didn't pursue the religion. I wasn't interested in learning about the religion then because I was so distracted with other things. And like how it said, we ended up hanging out with the wrong crowds. And I would suggest never to do anything for somebody else. Always look into religion for your own sake, because you believe in it, not because somebody else believes in it. So it just so happens that I was already interested in the religion prior to meeting my boyfriend. And it's a blessing that he's already Muslim. Because I feel that in a relationship, you should both believe in the same, you should both have the same beliefs. Pretty much. And that's me, my personal opinion. And how long I've been Muslim. That's the third question. How long I've been Muslim? I've been Muslim since March, my birthday. That's when I took my Shahada. Like how I mentioned, I was wearing my hijabs like 2 months prior, you know, just getting used to it. I'm the type of person, I never liked anything around my neck. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I must have gone through something when I was younger. Like, I feel like it's choking me, so it kind of bothers me. Excuse me. But little by little, I'm getting used to having something around my neck, which is why I kind of leave it a little loose. But I'm getting used to it, so that's a good thing. And yeah, I've been Muslim since March 4th, my birthday. That's when I took my Shahada. I was blessed enough to be a part of experiencing Ramadan. Ramadan began April 2nd, and it was for the entire month. So that was a great experience overall. I've learned so many new habits. I've learned a lot about myself. I learned that I was an extremist in so many ways, and I definitely learned how to take breaks because, again, being extremist is it can be good and it can be bad. So definitely taking breaks is definitely crucial. So that was that. And I stepped into the mosque. For the first time I stepped into the mosque was on my boyfriend's birthday, which was April 22nd of this year. That's my first time walking into a mosque, and I didn't do it previously because I wasn't too comfortable. I was feeling some type of way because I didn't know my prayer fully. And then I said, let me just go. And then I went, and again, like, it's been an ongoing thing. Every Fridays we're in Juma service, and it's just a whole different vibe. It's the best thing I could have done. The best thing I could have done. So if you find yourself lost, or you find yourself not wanting to talk to anybody, you find yourself hurt, lonely, I say seek God. That's the best suggestion I can give you. Seek God. And even though I felt lonely for so many years, I realized that I was never lonely. Like, God never left my side. Yes, He put me through some trials and tribulations, but it was for my own good. It is the reason why I am who I am now. And not saying that everything, you know, was right for me to experience, because there's some things that's just like, I wish some people never experienced it, but unfortunately, we go through a lot of tests. The good and the bad are tests. It's how we react to these tests. All right? Or we're going to go through something that's going to hurt us, and we're going to turn, I don't know, into mean people. We're going to turn like aggressively. We're going to be acting, you know, out of anger. It should be the total opposite. It should be more compassion. You should have more empathy. You should be more caring, understanding, more patient. You should be wanting to guide somebody else in the right direction, you know? So these are all things that I've learned, and the accident made me more humble, because like how I was never one to depend on anybody. I was so used to always providing for myself that the accident allowed me to depend on people, and it made me feel so uncomfortable, but it was something that I had to accept for the moment. And I'm thankful that I actually had people that I was able to depend on, because I never felt like I was able to depend on anybody. And it was a life experience. It was a wake-up call. The accident was definitely a wake-up call. It definitely allowed me to say, I got to do things differently, because what I've been doing for the past years obviously has not been working. Yes, it works for the moment, but I wasn't happy. I was happy for the moment, But when I go back home, I'll be back into a depressed child, lonely, etc. So the accident definitely made me wake up. I have fallen into a deep depression at one point, and nobody knew because I was lonely. I wasn't talking to anybody. But I'm thankful that I always had God by my side, and I had my dogs that helped me heal as well. So I wasn't one to like pets. I never really grew up around dogs. I was actually afraid of dogs, but I ended up having dogs, and that was actually a blessing. Like how I mentioned, God knows what he's doing. Even though it might seem like we don't understand it at the moment, there is a reason behind it. So always try to look at the bright side of things. And I've answered the 3 questions. And what I want to say now to end this, because it's over 20 minutes now, is let's start paying more attention to our kids. Let's start showing our kids more affection, more love. And I want to clarify before I continue that I'm not a parent myself. Before anybody wants to say any comments or remarks, I'm not a parent. But that doesn't mean that just because a woman is not a parent or a mother, that she does not understand the amount of effort that has to be put into raising a child. Because what if the woman chose not to have kids for the simple fact that she understood the severity that was needed to raise a child and she wasn't ready for it? There's a lot that goes into play, but people are so quick to judge, to humiliate, to make fun of, to downgrade, and that is the reason we're going through what we go through. The parents do it, so the kids are going to continue doing it. Remember, the kids are learning from the parents. So you might be telling your kids, don't do this, but if they see you doing it, they're going to do what you're doing, not what you're saying. So we have to lead by example. We have to be our kids' role models. You know, we obviously know what the school system teaches us. We went through it. They only teach us stuff that we're going to need for our careers, if anything. But important information, they're not going to teach us that. We have to take it upon ourselves to start teaching our kids the important things of life. We have to start doing things differently to help our kids by the time they're already old, graduate from high school, allowing them to start, on a different path. So let's start showing our kids more love, compassion. Instead of downgrading them or instead of yelling at them, let's try to be more understanding as to why they're getting frustrated, why they're feeling the way they are. Let's start to show them that you love them. You don't have to buy them everything. That's not showing them you love them. That's just buying them everything. Showing them that you love them is hugging them, kissing them, telling them that you love them, spending time with them, going out with them to the park, creating new things with them. There's so much things that you can do with your child that is going to prevent them from heading to the streets. That's going to prevent them from wanting to stay home playing arcades all day or video games. Nothing good comes out of playing video games. You're minimizing your child's capability of thinking, of their creativity. You gotta assist them into trying to learn new things. Of course, they might find certain things boring, but you gotta make it fun. That's the whole point. Let's not continue doing the same traditions that were taught to us. That was pretty much nothing and got us nowhere. And I'm not downgrading anybody, because I know everybody did the best that they knew how to do at the moment. But we know better. We understand more now. So let's start implementing different strategies for our kids. Let's stop depending on the school system to teach them everything, because we know they're not going to learn everything there. So let's start leading by example. We want to change in this world. We got to start acting on it. No change is going to happen if we're not trying to change as a person. So I leave you guys with, I pray that things start getting better, because from the looks of it, they're not. They only keep getting worse, and they're going to continue getting worse. And I pray that we all stay safe. I pray that we all somehow find some type of healing if we're suffering or going through something. You know, they say the best thing to do is look for a psychiatrist or speak to, somebody else. But if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. I never did it. And I never did it because, again, I had trust issues. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And especially somebody who's going to try to put me into a mental health institute, or somebody who was just going to give me some type of pills so I can take. Because we understand that these pills also have other triggers. And I'm one not to take no Tylenol. I'm one not to take no Advil. I stay away from all these medications. The only time I took anything was when I had my foot accident. And that was because it was a severe accident. And sometimes the pain was unbearable. But I only took it in the hospital. When I got out the hospital, thankfully, I didn't have to take anything. But I think I spoke too much. I answered the 3 questions. I hope I answered the 3 questions. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask away. I am more than happy to share my story, my experiences. I am being transparent. I feel like everybody that I've pretty much been around doesn't really know me, and that includes family. My own family does not know me for me. They only know me of the person they made me to be. And yeah, I hope I didn't offend anybody. I hope nobody got offended behind what I said. And it's just just want to share positivity, and I want to be able to touch somebody's heart the way that my heart was touched. That's all. I pray for everybody, and I pray we all stay safe, because it's a scary world out there. It's not even safe to go to school. It's not safe to go shopping. It's not safe to even step out your home sometimes. We just gotta hang on tight and have faith that things will be all right. So with that, I'll leave you guys. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. And make sure you smile. Smiling does change your mood, believe it or not. It does. So on that note, peace and blessings to you all. Adios.